set doggy biscuits.
Sears is Bermuda's largest home appliance store with over 200 appliances in our showroom. We have refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, washers and dryers. Sears has a wide selection of craftsman's tools and accessories. Beautify your home with our lawn and garden tools. We have everything you need for outdoor entertaining. Located at 41 Victoria Street, Sears is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sears, reliable delivery, quality service, and everyday low prices.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, March 8th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. A man tonight has lost his life after he was thrown from his two-horse carriage in an accident on Brighton Hill in Devonshire. 69-year-old Howard Charles died from severe injury sustained in the incident. We must warn you, some of the images may be disturbing to some viewers. Traffic was prevented from entering Brighton Hill Road and Middle Road in Devonshire at around 3:30 this afternoon. Police officers had cordoned off the area as they processed the scene. Moments before we arrived, two ambulances were moving at speed towards hospital with the victim in tow. There were several eyewitnesses to the incident involving a horse and buggy.
I heard a noise. Apparently the part of the carriage just popped off and the horses must have got spooked and they just dragged him down. I instantly got off the bike, ran across the street, down the road just to see what was going on, and he was already done. There was a woman trying to talk to him and everything, trying to feel for his pulse. And then I see the horses, and the horses, they look like they just went and got tangled all up. One of the horses looked like the leg got tangled like 3 times already before. It was not a pretty scene at all.
A second eyewitness who knew the person involved was also shaken up by what he saw.
I was just backing in tractor trailer in Korea Construction's yard, and I noticed 2 horses coming, Hubby Charles driving them. And, I sat there waiting to see him come across and speak to him, being that I own 2 horses myself. And when I looked, the horses took off. But what I think happened was the harness had broken on the horse buggy, and the pole to the buggy had dropped to the ground and started scraping, and it spooked the horses. So the horses took off and he couldn't control the horses. So I jumped out of the tractor trailer, ran down the hill behind the horses to, try help him. When I got there, he was on the ground out, and the horses was on the side all tangled up and broken legs and whatnot.
Veterinarians were also on hand at the scene, there to euthanize the 2 horses involved.
They weren't there at the time, but the vet had came and had to put them to sleep because once the legs are broken, they're done no good.
Police investigators took photographs of the scene to document the aftermath of the crash. Tractor trucks shortly after removed the horses' bodies from the road. As for the owner of the horses, he's believed to be in a serious condition according to police, and a medical update is anticipated in due course. And police just moments ago confirmed the death of 69-year-old Mr. Howard Charles. We send out our sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Charles. Word that the principal and teacher sent on administrative leave this week following allegations made by students are only a handful of the number who find themselves in that situation. A well-placed source at the Ministry of Education claims the number could be anywhere from 10 to 15. Gary Moreno has the story.
Our source contends the teachers placed on paid administrative leave run the gamut of the public school system, from primary to senior school, and it suggested that once a teacher finds themselves in that situation, it could be some time before they return to the classroom, as the investigations into the claims made against them are usually carried out by the Department of Child and Family Services, which is said to be severely understaffed. A claim the minister responsible for that department, Michael Weeks, is well aware of.
As always, we'll be trying to make sure that there are enough staff to address issues, and as we go forward, we would also ensure that the issues as they arise, they have been addressed.
It is understood that in at least one instance, the teacher has been on administrative leave since November of last year, something which is reportedly of concern for another reason. the Ministry of Education purportedly finds itself paying double. As with some teachers on paid administrative leave, the ministry also has to pay for a substitute to fill in for those teachers. Reports are there is one teacher who was suspended because of allegations made against them by a student, but was returned to the job at the very school despite efforts to have that teacher relocated. Now we understand the very same individual is again in hot water over allegations made by students and has now retained legal counsel. Meantime, our source at the ministry informed us that education officials has had discussions with the Bermuda Union of Teachers about all this, with further talks slated to take place in the future. That source informing us as well that in one recent incident, it was found that a child who made allegations of physical abuse against a teacher was not being truthful. Our source offered that this is where the problem lies, since while some allegations may appear questionable, the Children's Act dictates that any such claims must be investigated. The person we spoke with at the ministry telling us this could lead to a change in the way teachers interact with students. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Bermuda Broadcasting would like to take this opportunity to inform our valued customers due to technical problems via New York on ZBM TV 9 station. We are currently unable to provide our daily programming schedule. We are feverishly working on this technical issue and hope to have a resolution soon. We are truly sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused. Do stay with us. We have more news after the break.
Fresh certified Angus boneless beef roast. Bottom round, eye round, or chuck. $6.99 per pound. Extra large sweet cantaloupes. Just $3.99 each. Just $2.79 for select varieties of Ragu pasta sauce. Selected varieties of Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. $8.99 for a 75-ounce bottle. Only $1.29 for a 4-row package of 2-ply bathroom tissue. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
Bermuda's only fiber to the home network is here, thanks to Digicel. But what does this mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. This means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway. You can be one of the first to enjoy it. Call us on 500-5000.
Bermuda was blasted publicly yet again on social media over its decision to reverse gay marriage. This time, Mega TV personality Ellen DeGeneres had a go at the island when she tweeted about Bermuda's decision, triggering thousands of responses. As Try Trot reports, the topic even dominated local talk radio today.
Okay, I'm being told there's someone else here.
A tweet by Ellen DeGeneres, published Wednesday, says Bermuda just banned marriage equality. I guess I'm canceling my trip. Anybody else? Within hours, the tweet generated more than 1,000 replies, 23,000 likes, and was retweeted or shared more than 4,000 times. Among those commenting on the post was Bermudian gay rights activist Tony Brennan, who wrote that Mrs. DeGeneres should consider having Rod Ferguson on her show as a guest. Mr. Ferguson, a Bermudian who lives overseas, recently launched a lawsuit against the Bermuda government over the reversal of gay marriage. While many of the comments on Mrs. DeGeneres' post were critical of Bermuda, many others were critical of her sentiments and felt it would be hurtful to Bermudians, especially those who are gay, for the island's tourism industry to be boycotted. One commenter, Bermudian Hannah Collins, wrote, "Ellen, I'm a queer Bermudian and I was a fan of yours, but this really hurts. Don't boycott Bermuda. Use your power and privilege to help." OBA MP Jeff Barron also weighing in. He pointed out Bermuda didn't ban marriage equality, it was the Bermuda government which did. He writes, "As a member of Bermuda's parliament who fought for marriage equality, I stand with thousands of Bermudians who will keep fighting for equality for all, and we will win." Another commenter by the name of Rakai Emery points out to Ellen that Bermuda doesn't have school shootings as in the United States, and she should sort out their issues before talking about Bermuda's. Meanwhile, the posting was a topic of the popular Sherry Simmons radio show, with many callers condemning Mrs. DeGeneres for attempting to hurt the island's crucial tourism sector, and with some questioning whether or not she had real plans to visit here in the first place. Mrs. DeGeneres was an early backer of gay rights, including gay marriage, often using her television show called The Ellen Show to push gay rights issues.
And I've known
since I was a little girl, that I felt different. I mean, I like boys. I still like boys.
She publicly came out as a lesbian in 1997, which became the subject of intense interest by U.S. tabloids. Since 2004, she has been married to partner Portia DeRosio and lives in the U.S. state of California. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Some of the world's biggest entrepreneurs, innovators, and venture capitalists are in Santa Monica, California this week for the Montgomery Summit. The by-invitation-only yearly event gives the tech industry an inside track to make deals and build relationships. A delegation headed by Minister of National Security Wayne Keynes has been sitting on panels, giving presentations and hosting meetings on tech topics like blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and artificial intelligence. In a Skype interview, Minister Keynes said the high-level meetings are already bearing fruit.
Yesterday, we went and we had a meeting with a local business, and they were in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. And at the end, before we completed the meeting, he said, "Listen, you sold me. What can I do to incorporate my business in Bermuda? We want to do it within the next 2 weeks."
It's unclear whether that company will actually set up a brick-and-mortar presence on the island, but the minister said he's trying to convince companies to become part of the local economy, pivotal in the government's push to create jobs. Minister Keynes said he has been struck by the ingenuity of some of the tech leaders he's been meeting.
The ability of the people in this space to pivot on a dime, to see where the trends are, to see the opportunity to evolve past any problem or any barrier and create solutions. And so what happens in certain parts of the world, they might have limitations, and the limitations becomes the high watermark for the endeavor. What we have been looking at over the last couple of days is understanding this space and watching people that are behemoths in their spaces create opportunities, create synergies, and create pathways to difficult sets of circumstances.
Hundreds of people have taken part in a ceremony at City Hall to mark International Women's Day. There were speeches and performances at the event, with organizers saying this year's ceremony saw more people attending than ever before. It was an upbeat celebration with the emphasis on empowerment and women not afraid of making some noise. Dance 2 was on the agenda, gaining some youthful fans. But it wasn't just about performances, with a series of heartfelt speeches.
I have come to believe over and over again that is what is most important to me must be spoken, made verbal and shared, even at the risk of having it bruised or misunderstood.
Among those listening in, the two most senior leaders on the island and a host of ministers. I asked one of them where she thought the island was in terms of gender equality.
There are very many shining examples of women in leadership positions doing phenomenal jobs. But there is room for improvement, because when you look at most of the boardrooms, when you look at most of your #1 corporate entities, you still have males who are leading the way. And we know as women, because you're a woman, Jasmine, we know that there are definitely phenomenal women who are capable of doing like jobs.
So progress is needed in the corporate sector, according to the minister. And campaigners for women's rights say there are other pressing needs too, especially the need to protect some of the island's most vulnerable women among them. 3 years ago, the island's only refuge for women at risk of physical or sexual abuse closed due to lack of funding. The executive director of the Women's Resource Center says they're in talks with various stakeholders now to find a safe haven for women.
There's a major demand. From the Women's Resource Center's perspective, though, what we really need is transitional housing. We need a multi-stakeholder collaborative approach to finding somewhere that is not just safe, but that is comfortable, that is nice, that a woman and her children, most times, can collect themselves and receive the services they need.
The Center Against Abuse says 1 in 3 women will become a victim of domestic abuse during their lifetime. A grim statistic for International Women's Day, but one those gathered in Hamilton seem determined to reverse. Today's events ending with a march which stressed rights and equality as the best way of moving women forward, an expression of their desire to see change and show their power. We apologize for the audio problems we've been having there. Now here's our nightly AccuWeather forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and we are almost to the weekend. Couple of showers, though, as we head into tonight. We have this nor'easter that has been bringing some heavy snow across the East Coast. Some areas saw over 30 inches of snow. As that continues to move out of the area up into New England, it could still be pushing a couple of showers into our area. So that's exactly what we're going to experience as we head into tonight. Winds coming in out of the west, couple of spotty showers over the island. Temperatures right now in the mid-60s, and temperatures today have been pretty close to normal. Our average high temperature is 68 degrees right now. Humidity sitting around 70%. Again, winds are coming in out of the west. The water's still a little bit cool after we had that storm a couple of days ago that knocked temperatures down. So the water's still at 65 degrees. Waves inside 2 to 4 feet, and outside we're looking at waves between 10 and 14 feet. So the waves are still kicked up a good deal outside of the reef. Getting into the forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Again, we could see a passing shower or two. Temperatures will be falling to around 64 degrees for tonight. And looking at some of the marine alerts here, we do have a small craft warning that is in place through Saturday. And then it looks like we could have another warning issued once we get into Sunday, as there will be yet another strengthening storm system off the East Coast, and that will be picking up our winds and making for some choppier seas once again. Your tidal times: low tide 1, 6:51, high tide 1 coming in just after 1:30 a.m. on Friday. And yes, the weekend is almost here. We'll fill you in on what you can expect the weekend and also heading into next week. For your Friday here in Hamilton, times of clouds and sunshine. It will be breezy outside with temperatures again near average 67 degrees, and we can't rule out a spotty shower or two. Now let's talk about our next system that we're keeping our eye on across the East Coast as we get into Sunday night and also into Monday here. What's going to be happening is this area of low pressure will be developing throughout the southeast and working its way to the northeast. Ahead of that, winds will be increasing out of the south and west. So Sunday night, we could see a small craft warning issued once again. And once again, this area of low pressure will be likely tracking to our north, and we could be looking at some heavy rain and some very strong winds, possibly gale force winds, by the time we head into Monday morning. So we'll keep you posted on that. If you're doing any traveling, New York City, still some scattered snow showers into tomorrow. Same goes for Boston, Atlanta, the southeast, unseasonably cool temperatures, and a couple of showers right now in Jamaica and also into Barbados. Your extended forecast here: a nice start to the weekend. Winds pick back up again on Sunday. Powerful winds into Monday, and Monday we could be looking at potentially up to an inch of rain.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Jane just got diagnosed with dementia. Her doctor recommended home care service. Jane chose Bermuda in-home care, a full home care service with certified dementia care specialists available 24/7. Jane and her family was extremely happy when the caregiver showed up on time. The caregiver prepared her meals, reminded her to take medication, helped her with personal hygiene care, and solved puzzles with her. The family chooses Lighthouse Medical Supplies to set up all her durable medical equipments. Call Bermuda In-Home Care, 705-4424. Your one-stop shop for all your home care services and medical supplies. Taking the hassle out of healthcare, call now, 705-4424.
Welcome back. It may have been 13 years coming, but Belco has finally been given the green light to proceed with its capital development plan. This will see Belco replace 9 generators out of 17 that will be retired between now and 2020, providing the island with a more reliable and secure electricity supply. Good news for both the company and consumers. But who's paying for all of this? Gary Moreno went in search of the answer.
The necessary upgrade should have been carried out in 2005. Instead, the company has had to pay in the region of $26 million per year over the last 5 years to maintain its current outdated equipment. There is as yet no definite start date for the refurbishment, but it is expected to be done in alignment with the retirement of the old engines over the next 2 years, all at a cost of $118 million. No doubt you're wondering, what does that mean in terms of your electricity bill? Well, Sean Durfee, President and CEO of Belco, explained.
If you look at the rates, it's 37.5 cents today, the overall rate, so you'd add an extra penny or so onto that. And that's just during construction phase, and then that will come down. You know, we hope as we go through it and we start really understanding how to utilize our costs better and manage our costs better, that there will be no impact on the customer. On an average, if you look at, I think we're at 350 kilowatt hours a month, and if you look at what that would be, it's probably about $12 on a bill.
Mr. Durfee stressed that over time the much improved service will be well worth the investment and costs will eventually go down given the efficiency of the new equipment.
Over the last 5 or so years, we've spent upwards of $80 million on just trying to keep the equipment going. So this new equipment, of course, will be much more efficient. There'll be less maintenance on that equipment. There'll be less fuel oil used to burn in that equipment, less lube oil. And overall, you take 9 generating units out of the system, you replace it with 4. So overall, we're hoping over the long term to really see some cost savings here.
But don't expect to see your rates go up just yet. The regulatory authority has got to approve any proposed rate increase, and that will be based on a rate-making methodology which is currently out for consultation. Another concern, though, is what will this mean for jobs at the company? Can we expect to hear of staffing reductions?
And that hasn't been determined yet, but what you will see is we've got a lot of maintenance will go down for sure because you don't have as many generators. They're newer generators as well. What you're going to see during the construction period is a lot of local jobs created during the construction phase, which is sort of 24 months. But over the long terms, as the electricity sector changes, I think a lot of things change, and we have to look at deploying different technologies, and that's different skill sets, different people.
The Belco president and CEO did, however, make it clear that the company is one of the larger employers on the island, and with an aging workforce, attrition is quite normal. Elsewhere, the upgrades at Belco include its transmission and distribution operation. Mr. Durfee assures once it's all completed, it will be of benefit to Belco, but more importantly, its customers.
We believe this is the best solution for that going forward to ensure that we can actually keep the costs down and we can keep the lights on for Bermuda.
Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we'll hear more from Gary's interview with Mr. Durfee in subsequent newscasts. Bermuda Football Association President, going to another story, it's official. U.S. President Donald Trump put pen to paper today, adopting new tariffs on U.S. imports of steel and aluminum. Canada and Mexico are exempt for now as the 3 countries renegotiate a fair trade agreement. Other U.S. allies will have to apply for an exemption, and the tariffs will kick in 15 days. Tony Waterman examines what it all means for Bermuda.
Steel is one of the most versatile materials in the world, a major component in everything from barricades to appliances to cars. Then there's all the stuff you can't see, like the steel skeleton holding up bridges, airports, and buildings, and the rebar keeping your home sturdy. When you really start to think about it, you can see how Bermuda could get caught up in the collateral damage of the Trump tariffs.
If any of this stuff gets tagged with a tariff in the U.S. and it's kind of re-imported to Bermuda, obviously it's going to be highly inflationary, so we're going to get hit that way, which is not good for an island that's actually trying to control its costs and get more cost competitive.
The majority of U.S. steel imports hail from Canada and the EU. Some of that is exported to Bermuda. If you think buying U.S. steel will solve the problem, think again. The entire purpose of this exercise is to increase U.S. steel prices, which have already spiked since last week's announcement.
Bermuda doesn't have economic power in the sense that we're really price takers for a lot of things that come in. We don't really have the clout to kind of renegotiate these goods that come traded in.
The impact is already being felt. Charles Crisson from Crisson Construction says his U.S. supplier has already warned that his next steel order will be hundreds of dollars more expensive. Chris Lane from Aecon, the company behind the new airport construction, also expects a knock-on effect. He told Bermuda Broadcasting that he thinks there will be a cost impact to Bermuda. The Trump tariffs, 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum, have been met with fierce opposition, not only from the U.S. Congress, but also U.S. allies.
Imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum coming from Canada simply makes no sense.
And I'm convinced that increased tariffs will hurt us all in the long run.
Besides the obvious price increases, there's another level of economic disruption that tariffs leave in their wake.
That extra $5 is now disappeared from the economy in the sense that $5 can't go to someplace else, so other people are hurt, right? That's the unseen.
Another concern is that this will spark a global trade war, countries tacking on tariffs in retaliation. The EU has already drawn up a list of U.S. products it could tax, like peanut butter and bourbon. Who knows where it will stop? One thing is for sure, Bermuda would not be a winner in any trade war. Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning to sports news, Bermuda Football Association President Mark Wade announces window dates for matches. The cricket numbers are in from the 2020 cricket tournament that Bermuda won, and Chennai Parent-Chief is to compete in the NCAA Indoor Championships. Earl Basin has the details in tonight's sports report.
Yesterday, Bermuda, along with other CONCACAF members, found out who they will play following the Nations Cup CONCACAF draw. Bermuda Football Association President Mark Wade explained the dates in which Bermuda will play their games.
September window is September 3rd through to the 11th. So at any time within that window, we'll play the match against Aruba, away to Aruba. In October, the match window is October 7th to 17th. So that's when we will be looking to play our match at home against St. Martin. And in November, the match window is November 12th to November 20th. And that's when we will play the match against El Salvador. And then there's the March 2019 match will be played in the window of 18th of March to 26th of March. So those are all the windows in which the qualification matches will be played.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
The ICC Americas Regional 2020 tournament in Argentina is now over, with Bermuda winning the group. The Bermuda team won 3 of their 4 2020 games, and today we look at the breakdown of stats for the 4 2020 games. Kamau Levrock finished as the tournament's MVP. He also led the Bermuda team in batting, scoring a total of 171 runs. Gennaro Tucker scored 84, and Terran Frey scored 60. Levrock had the highest individual knock of 93, with both Tucker and Frey adding knocks of 40. Charles Trott led the team with 4 wickets, while Tucker, Kwesi James, CJ Otterbridge, Dion Stovall, and Levrock all grabbed 3 wickets each. Okira Bascom held on to 3 catches, while Levrock and James both took 2 catches. Chennai Parent-Chief will be one of 10 athletes representing the number 3 ranked Arkansas men's track and field team, who will have opportunities to score points at next weekend's 2018 NCAA Indoor Championships in College Station, Texas, as they pursue the program's 42nd NCAA title. The Iowa Central transfer Parent-Chief will compete in the men's high jump, and he comes in with a top mark of 2.22 meters. Earlier this week, ZBM Sports reported the record-breaking performances of Elijah Daly over the short course distance. Today, we can confirm he has broken 1 Bermuda record and recorded 4 personal bests during the Ontario Spring Provisional Long Course Championships. Daly broke his own 200-meter butterfly record of 2:40.40 he set back on May 14, 2017 during the NYAC Performance Meet in Canada, when he touched the wall in a time of 2:30.38 to finish 27th in the preliminaries. Daly was clocked at 29:25 125 during the 50-meter freestyle relay. He would also record a time of 103.42 during the 100-meter freestyle relay. During the 100-meter butterfly, Daly was clocked at 107.69, finishing 19th in the preliminaries. There was Senior League Makeup Netball matches at the Bernard Park last evening. This doubleheader evening resulted in 111 goals scored. The North Village Lady Rams Whites won the Battle of the Club, defeating the North Village Lady Rams Red 43-16. Nikita Trott led the North Village Lady Rams Whites with 40 goals, while Zaria Emery added 3. Victoria Trott scored all 16 goals for the North Village Lady Rams Red. In the other makeup match on the night, the Lindos Tigers defeated Robin Hood 43-9. Bermuda Bowl Hockey League action at the PCC Hockey Rink saw a total of 11 goals scored in a doubleheader. In a top-of-the-table clash, league leaders Winnipeg Jets defeated second-place Montreal Canadiens 4-2. The Winnipeg Jets will get 2 goals off the stick of Matt Benson, while Jeremy Esty and Craig McNeil added a goal each. The Montreal Canadiens got single goals from Bill Callop and Anthony Capsamalis. In the other match, the Toronto Maple Leafs edged the Calgary Flames 3-2. The Bermuda Basketball Winter League, sponsored by One, saw yet another doubleheader, but this time inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium that produced 225 points on the night. Game 1 saw the Southampton Thundercats defeat the Somerset Tsunamis 85-69. The Southampton Thundercats were led by Jason Lowe, who scored 23 points. He had 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 block shot, while Chris Crumpler scored 17 points. He had 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 steals, and 1 block shot. The Somerset Tsunamis got 23 points from Jonathan Lugo. He would also have 9 rebounds and 2 assists. Dean Jones would chip in with 21 points. He would have 20 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 2 block shots. At the end of Game 2, the Devonshire Chargers had defeated the Hamilton City Twisters 53-48. In second spring senior bowling league action inside the Warwick Lanes, it saw the Drifters fall 3-1 to the newcomers. The Islanders went down 3-1 to the Blue Angels, while Old and Kickin defeated the Pin Splitters 3-1. Last Pin defeated the Last Minutes 4-0.
Tonight's sports has been brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Extra large tomatoes, just $2.49 per pound. Value pack fresh Purdue chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Large imported white eggs, just $2.50 per dozen. Minute Maid premium orange juice, just $2.99 for select varieties of 59-ounce cartons. Save $1.26 on Lay's potato chips, $2.99 for a 6.5-ounce bag. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
All my life is changing every day, in every possible way. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. 'Cause you're a dream to me.
Made with care, handled with care, delivered with care. That's what dreams are made of.
A quick announcement before we leave you tonight. The Pirates of Bermuda fundraiser has been postponed due to weather conditions until Sunday, March 18th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and it will now take place at All Boys Point. And that's our broadcast for this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.